Canada's still really far behind when it comes to vaccinating its citizens. Are we yet starting to see public sentiment shift around how the mass immunization campaign is going?
Well, the one thing that we do know, Rachel, is that the coronavirus is still a top of mind issue. About 41% of Canadians identify as the top issue, like 30 points ahead of jobs and the environment and healthcare. But, in recent polling that we've done for CTV News and the Globe and Mail suggests that there's a lot of people that are concerned and actually don't give the federal government very positive marks, like a 4.7 out of 10, which is like an F, for anyone that hopefully no one ever got an F, but that's a bad score. What we've been seeing is that I'll say the advantage that many incumbent governments enjoyed in 2020, the Liberals and also provincial incumbent governments, has basically is starting to dissipate because of vaccine anxiety and people wondering, like, how long is it going to take? And I think until Canadians see in a significant way vaccines on the streets, with people being inoculated, I think it's going to be a rough ride for any incumbent government, federal or provincial.
Right. And so with that in mind, when we're talking about when we actually are going to see mass vaccinations on the streets, for most of us, based on the latest timelines, it's July to September. So I guess we could expect a lot of other things being put in the window between now and then. And that's kind of, I think, what we saw last week, right? We saw the federal government move on a couple of big progressive policy issues, things that, yes, were longstanding commitments that they said they were going to do, but possibly also well-timed with the lull in the vaccine rollout. So this included new crackdown on gun violence and firearms in Canada, as well as a move to eliminate more mandatory minimums that the federal government has said over the years has been proven to target racialized and other minority communities disproportionately. So do you think, Nick, that putting those in the window when they did was about distracting from the vaccine dose dilemma?
Well, I think it includes two things. It does include distracting and kind of trying to change the channel because, whenever any government introduces legislation, it chews up space in the media and we learn about what the government is doing. There's another element, and that's what I'll call the housekeeping element. TikTok, we know that an election is going to come at some point. We don't know how soon or late that might be. But, for the Liberals, they're probably, to your point, looking at everything that they've promised, things in their mandate that they want to deliver on, and these two things came up. So it's kind of like housekeeping, check, get these out the door. And coincidentally, these came out at a time when the Prime Minister was getting a pretty rough ride in the media and from Canadians about our vaccination response. So it's a bit of a political 2-for-1.